At the beginning of the movie, we meet Kara aboard her ship, nursing a brutal hangover while her dog Krypto tries to wake her up. It's her birthday. Her cousin Clark sends her a heartfelt video message, and she turns it off before it even finishes. Within the hour, she's off to another planet to keep partying, and when she wakes up hungover again, she flies toward the nearest yellow sun. The one thing that actually heals her. As a native of Krypton, yellow sunlight is basically a superpower recharge button for Kara. It heals her instantly and fuels every ability she has, which means if she ever wants to feel pain, or get drunk, or feel remotely human, she has to seek out planets under different stars. Krypton doesn't exist anymore, her people are gone, and the only family she has left is the dog currently trying to wake her up. Keep that loneliness in mind. It's about to collide with somebody else's tragedy. On a quiet farming world called Halsair, a girl named Ruthie Mary Knoll wakes up to a spaceship landing outside her house. Her father explains the visitors are brigands, after the handcrafted weapons he forges. Their leader, Krem of the Yellow Hills, walks in and helps himself to the family's food, while Ruthie's father hands over his workshop key. When her mother demands they leave, Krem refuses, and when Ruthie's brother bursts out to prank his sister, Krem reacts by hurling his axe and killing the boy instantly. The mother charges him with a knife and gets knocked unconscious. In desperation, the father triggers an emergency drone that blows up the brigand's ship, but the explosion also sets the house on fire, and Krem kills the father too, before vanishing into the smoke. By morning, Ruthie is burying her entire family alone. She takes the one thing Krem left behind, her father's sword, and walks away chasing a single goal: make him pay. She eventually finds Kara mid-drink in a rowdy bar, and bursts in offering the sword as payment to whoever hunts Krem down. Nobody cares until she says her father's name. Then the room realizes exactly how valuable that blade is, and a hulking brute steals it right out of her hands. Kara, several drinks in, follows him outside more out of annoyance than heroism. The fight turns brutal. She's drunk and outmatched, until Krypto bites the brute in a very sensitive spot, giving Kara the opening to finish him off and hand Ruthie her sword back. The next morning, Clark calls, worried, and gently suggests Kara move to Earth. She shuts him down. She has no people left anywhere, and hangs up right as Ruthie knocks, asking for real help this time. Kara refuses, and while they argue in a field, the brigands find her abandoned ship and break in to steal it. Krypto charges to defend it, and Krem shoots him with a toxin that will slowly stop his heart. The brigands escape with the ship, leaving Krypto dying in the dirt. A healer delivers brutal news. There's no cure, only an antidote the brigands use purely to interrogate people. Krypto has 3 days left. Kara finally lets Ruthie in, though she still insists she stay behind and watch him, and sets a 3-day countdown, her mind drifting back to the day a stray puppy first wandered into her life during her own family's funeral. Boarding a bus packed with alien passengers, Kara discovers Ruthie snuck aboard too. Right before the bus gets attacked, a beam blasts it, drones latch onto the roof, and raiders teleport inside, scanning passengers and electrocuting anyone who won't hand things over. When they steal Ruthie's sword, Kara reveals she's already lifted one of their own teleportation devices, and full chaos breaks out. At one point, a raider shoves her into a vault, and with the engine dead, she scrambles for an astronaut suit, only to get shoved out an airlock into open space before she can seal the helmet. Frost creeps over her skin as she drifts, powerless, until a yellow sun rises and floods her with strength again. She tears every drone off the bus, dodges every laser, and rips the raider's ship apart with her bare hands. At the rest stop, Kara officially lets Ruthie travel with her and interrogates the captured raiders. Terrified of Krem, they crack. He's hiding on Belkess, a war-ravaged planet crawling with scavengers, and because the brigands' entire species is male, they raid worlds like it to kidnap girls. Kara buys Ruthie a collar that doubles as an instant spacesuit before they head out. At a rundown bar on Belkess, an alien tries to buy Ruthie off Kara, and the situation explodes into a fight. Kara ends it in seconds, immune to every laser thrown at her, until a name drops that should worry anyone. Lobo, infamous for wiping out his own home planet. Ruthie fearlessly asks him to help. He lifts her off the ground and threatens her, and Kara has to smooth things over before he loses interest and walks off. While they wait for a contact, Ruthie finally gets Kara to open up, and everything about her clicks into place. Kara's father and uncle warned Krypton's ruling council the planet's core was collapsing, and nobody listened. When the ground finally tore apart, a small group of survivors, including Kara's parents, sealed themselves inside a force field that ripped away a fragment of the planet's surface, creating a floating colony just before the rest of Krypton was destroyed. Kara was born 8 years later into a happy childhood, until the colony's exposed core turned out to be leaking a toxic mineral called kryptonite, poisoning the soil and everyone on it. With no cure, her dying father built her an escape pod and convinced her that surviving mattered more than staying. After her mother died, at the funeral, a stray dog wandered into her life, the same dog Kara now can't lose. Her father sent her off with his own watch and the only companion she had left. Grief is a killer, Kara tells Ruthie. Revenge won't bring anyone back. It's advice she needs just as badly as Ruthie does. Downstairs, their host couple offers Kara a drink secretly laced with the same toxin killing Krypto, hoping to trade her body for their own kidnapped daughter, Sarna. Kara barely manages to chug enough milk to slow the poison before Krem himself crashes through the wall. A brutal fight follows, Kara forcing herself to throw up the toxin while getting hurled through walls, until she's clear-headed enough to tear through the brigands who follow. Then she hears Ruthie scream. Kara bursts through the floor to save her from brigands trying to drag her away, then flies them both out a window under a hail of arrows to a nearby rooftop. Lobo arrives mid-explosion, tearing apart the brigand ship purely for a bounty, and the two of them end up fighting side by side to protect a pod of kidnapped girls crashing free from the wreckage. On the roof, Ruthie spots Krem chasing the escaped Sarna and gets one real shot at killing him from behind, but Kara tackles her out of the way, and by the time she makes it back, Krem has already killed Sarna and both her parents. Ruthie is devastated and furious. Sarna's death is on Kara, she screams, because she's the reason Ruthie didn't finish Krem when she had the chance. Kara won't budge. She'll never let Ruthie become a killer. Ruthie fires back something crueler and truer. At least she still feels something, unlike Kara, who spent years drowning her pain in alcohol instead of facing it. The words land so hard, Kara flies into open space alone and screams out years of buried grief. Afterward, Kara forces the locals to lead her straight to the brigands, head covered, with Ruthie secretly following. But the planet they deliver her to has both a yellow sun and a green one, and the moment the green sun rises, Kara collapses, completely stripped of her powers. It's a trap. She wakes up in a cave, saved by Ruthie, who salvaged her supersuit and apologizes for lashing out earlier. Not long after, Ruthie is knocked out while gathering water and wakes up caged inside Krem's own ship, right next to an also imprisoned Lobo. Krem offers her a deal, give up Kara's location and live, and Ruthie spits in his face, so he promises she'll be dead by nightfall. She fakes a breakdown, ambushes the guards sent to shackle her, frees herself and Lobo, and crawls through the vents to recover her father's sword, discovering even more kidnapped girls locked in a nearby cell along the way. Back in the cave, the green sun sets, the yellow one rises, and Kara's strength floods back. She suits up one final time, remembering the promise she made her parents to keep living no matter what. Ruthie, meanwhile, is caught by Krem while reaching for a switch that would free the captive girls. He threatens to kill her with her own sword, until Kara arrives, blasts the weapon from his hand, and Ruthie hits the switch, dropping a rescue pod and dragging herself down along with it. Kara fights toward Krem and nearly wins back the antidote until a claw weapon downs her leg, and a kryptonite arrow finishes the job, stripping her powers completely as Krem riddles her with more arrows. A brigand moves in to execute her, but Lobo kills him first, then hauls Krem up, fully intending to throw him overboard himself despite Kara's protests. He does it anyway. Krem grabs onto Ruthie's dangling rope on the way down, and Lobo flies off, lobbing grenades that tear the ship apart from the inside. Still weakened, Kara ends up trapped in a flooding pod, fighting brigands underwater while barely able to move. Krem climbs onto the falling wreckage, instead of catching Ruthie, who leaps to safety before the ship crashes into a mountainside. Kara blasts free just as the sun burns the last kryptonite from her system, and races back to find Krem still alive and watching her return. The surviving brigands surround Ruthie on bikes and tanks, while Krem dares her to kill him. Inside the wreck, Kara frees the caged girls, tackles Krem the moment he lunges for Ruthie, and tears through the remaining brigands, even shielding Ruthie from an explosion with her own body. The last brigand standing is taken down by the freed girls themselves. When the chaos ends, Ruthie walks straight toward Krem, ready to finish it, but Kara stops her one last time, reminding her that revenge is a door you can't walk back through. This time, something shifts. Ruthie runs to Kara instead and finally lets herself break down over everything she's lost. As she steps away to grieve, Kara picks up Ruthie's blade and drives it into Krem twice, once for Krypto, once for Sarna, ending the man who started all of this. With the antidote secured, Kara races back to Krypto, who springs back to life the instant it hits his system. Ruthie decides to live with her aunt and carry on her father's legacy as a swordsmith. They say their goodbyes, and for the first time in the whole movie, Kara heads home to Earth with Krypto, finally ready to actually show up for Clark instead of running from him. And that's the full story of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. A woman who spent years running from her grief, finally forced to face it because a grieving young girl refused to let her hide any longer. If this helped the movie click for you, hit subscribe before you go. It costs nothing but makes a real difference for a channel this size. And drop a comment telling me what hit you hardest. I read every one, and they're the reason this channel keeps going. See you in the next one.